everyone, it's Dr. T. I'm a tech trainer and career coach, and I help professionals transition to tech by leveraging their existing skills and abilities. Today's video is focused on the backlog and which backlog the Scrum team should focus on. There are two backlogs within Scrum. There's the product backlog and there's the sprint backlog. Both are important, and the team should be comfortable, have a comfortable understanding of both. The product backlog is focused on the product. Those features, the functionality, the business value that the product should deliver to the organization should be visible within the product backlog and the features that are outlined within that backlog. The product owner owns the product backlog and is responsible for defining those features from the characteristics to the business value that they deliver. The product owner will pull the team together with the help of the Scrum Master during backlog grooming sessions where the understanding around the products and the features are honed during this session so that the backlog is always ready for the Scrum team to come in, understand the prioritization, and start writing user stories against. So the backlog grooming session is that collaboration point between the product owner and the Scrum team to keep the features prioritized and ready for work. The time frame for the backlog is the life of the product. So it could extend beyond the Scrum team itself and extend beyond the project that stood up to focus on a particular set of features. The decomposition of the product backlog is features. So you open up the product backlog and there's a list of features there that the product owner is working with the Scrum team to understand and given that prioritization so the team understands where to begin writing their stories. The commitment for the product backlog is a product goal. So it's an overall product goal that the product owner has understood from the business to be what should be the delivered functionality for that particular product. As we move over to the sprint backlog is focused on the iteration. So every 2 weeks, if that's the cycle of the sprints for the organization, the Scrum team is focused on a particular set of user stories that have been committed for that particular iteration. The development team owns the sprint backlog. They have gotten the clarity from the product owner regarding the features and the functionality that should be given for that particular sprint, and so they are writing user stories that support the work needed to deliver that functionality. The prioritization for the backlog is those items that are going to give the highest value for that particular increment in that particular iteration. So they're working on the high priority items first within their sprint backlog. The collaboration point for the sprint backlog is sprint planning. So each sprint, definitely by the first day of the sprint, a sprint planning session is held and the team understands the priority and they've gotten their user stories sized and clarified in terms of the acceptance criteria and a great description, and they are ready to work on that backlog for that particular iteration. The composition in the sprint backlog is those user stories. Those are the lowest level of work items that they're focused on to get the work done to deliver that functionality. And user stories in some organizations are broken down into tasks in whatever tool that they're using, but some organizations don't go down to the task level. They're focused on the story in and of itself with a robust enough description to tell the team what work needs to be done. The commitment is the sprint goal, and the Scrum team determines the sprint goal and commits to that goal and that sets off the sprint and that increment time frame, either a 2-week or a 3-week period, however long the sprint lasts. So as a recap, both backlogs are important. The product owner owns the product backlog. The Scrum team owns the sprint backlog. And their features in the product backlog and their user stories in the sprint backlog. And that's the work that the team commits to during every iteration. I hope this was helpful. If you have any further questions regarding product backlog versus sprint backlog, leave them below. And there are various other videos around the Scrum Master role and facilitating the Scrum team as well. So take a look and let me know what you think. Thanks.